What's up, my tokers, jokers, and smokers? Chef Rodney back in the house. What's going on, y'all? I'm here with Nurse Cheri Cofield. Cheri, welcome to
Hello,
the show. Welcome to
hello.
the show. Yo, we were talking a little bit back before we got on the air. You got a PhD coming? Like, we
Yes,
gotta start
sir.
with that. We're gonna start with that.
All right. I've been a nurse for over 30 years, a registered nurse. I'm currently a PhD candidate, which
Mm,
means that I am waiting to defend my dissertation any day now.
mm.
So, yes, it's been a long road, but yes, I will be nurse Dr. Sherry.
I love hearing shit like that. Seriously, I really do. Like, it's with everything going on in the world, I hear somebody made it. That's what I like hearing. I like putting that back out there in the universe. Like, cannabis aside, like, let's start with that. Let's start with like the medical side of it. Like, what made you, hey, I want to fix people? You know what I mean? Like, what happened?
Well, actually, my dissertation is on sickle cell disease and chronic pain.
Okay.
So, with that, I was looking for an alternative way to treat pain.
Okay.
And then the cannabis industry came in. There it is. So I am
As it does.
looking
As it
forward to
does.
mirroring the two, trying to find out how cannabis helps sickle cell pain. And I became a cannabis nurse consultant. I'm an educator. I'm an advocate for cannabis. And with me being a nurse, when I became a cannabis nurse consultant, people started asking me for products, right?
Right.
And so I'm trying to find a way to help people relieve their pain. And so 2C Canna Health and Wellness was birthed out of it. So
Okay.
my main goal is to help anybody with any type of chronic disease manage their pain. And usually my clientele are professionals, so they don't want to test positive. They
Right.
don't want the high.
Right.
So that led me to the CBD route.
So it's strictly medicinal.
Definitely.
Yeah, and non-psychoactive at that point. Dude, I
Yes.
like it. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, and this is something that I was talking to a chef buddy of mine. I think his episode's coming on next week. Matt. He even said, "Listen, you can eat cannabis and weed and food all day long, and you're not going to get high." He's like, "You should
Mhm.
put CBD in it and terpenes and everything." And we had an amazing conversation. I can't wait for people to see that episode. But at the same time, like, he's absolutely right. And I've always said that, like, you don't have to get baked. That's one thing that I'm trying to definitely focus on, because Michigan is absolutely 100% known for its medical cannabis like structure, and the same like guidelines and the same rules and regulations and things like that. That's what put Michigan on the map back in 2007, 2008, and they gave us the medical field. I
Mhm.
think along with that comes things that, like sickle cell and things like that. I've heard of cannabis and autism. I've heard sickle cell.
Yes.
I've heard cannabis
Yes.
and dude, everything. Like it's helping people heal, man. And that's the
Hmm.
truth of it. Like, I'll be honest with you, I'm an avid CBD user. Like, I not only do you put I grow my own. I put fan leaves in some shakes and stuff. I have it like that. I do my dabs. I do my smoking. I take care of that. But I want the psychoactive effects too. So I
Hmm.
dabble there. But
Hmm.
my favorite are tinctures. I love
Okay.
tinctures. I didn't think I
Wonderful.
ever would, but I love tinctures. I love tinctures and I
Wonderful.
love like gummies. I'm sorry.
I said, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
speak of autism. I have a client who gives, I sell these vegan CBD gummies, and they have
Okay.
25 milligrams of CBD in them. And one of my clients, she gives them to her child who
Love
has
it. Love
autism
it.
and one that has ADHD. And
So
they're seeing such remarkable results.
I do have questions about that, because I've always said, uh, you know, listen, my kids, if they come to me, they're like, "Dad, I'm having trouble with," what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, CBD.
Mhm.
That's non-psychoactive. I would rather give a kid CBD than anything Adderall, Ritalin. I was on that shit, and let me tell you, it's
Wow.
shit. It's two molecules away from cocaine.
Yeah.
That's it's not okay. And they're like, "Well, sometimes." No, it's always made me wonder, as just even when I was popping it, I'm like, well, wait a minute, like, I didn't, okay, I'm not going to say I didn't abuse it, I did later on, but when I was first using it, it happens, but you live and learn. And when I was first taking it, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, well, huh? Like, it doesn't make any sense. How come like that dude's getting arrested for doing coke, and I'm basically carrying it around right here with a prescription?
Mhm.
There's your key, the prescription. And so right
Exactly.
now, fighting big pharma and stuff, it's like now with Pfizer stepping in with this $6.3 billion deal, I'm like, that's the people we don't want. Are you kidding me? Like,
I
it
know.
is what it is. But I do heal. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of aches and pains being a chef. I don't do things the easy way, so that just adds to that. You know what I mean? But it's more cannabis consumption for me. But no, I mean, I think that I've had your products. I think they're absolutely amazing. I met you in Detroit, if I'm not correct,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Sorry. Absolutely loved it. I had loved. I was like, damn, hell yeah. And then like everything got away. I caught COVID. Like,
Yeah.
life happens. But I do definitely want to circle back and pick up some more for sure.
Wonderful.
I hear that like you got a giveaway going on this month. What's going on with that?
Yes. So for the month of December, I ran specials. I did the 12 days of hempness.
Ooh, I remember
So
seeing that.
each
I remember seeing that.
day it was a special going on. And
Okay.
everybody who made a purchase during the month of December, they're being entered into a raffle that will be announced January the 12th
Ooh,
for a 2,000 milligram tincture.
ooh, 6 days. 6 days. We'll
Yes,
make sure we share that. Make sure I get a copy of that. We'll get it out to the people. Had
sure
I known
will.
that, I probably would have bought more Christmas presents there. I just ended up making mine, but it is what it is. Um,
That's okay. I have another giveaway in February. I will be
ooh,
doing one every month for different things.
and
So the month of
that's giving
February,
back.
it's a care package. So it'll
Okay.
be raffled off the day before Valentine's Day. So
Hell
it's a
yeah.
pre-roll, it's a pack of vegan gummies, and it's another item
Other
out of my
stuff, other
collection.
accoutrement, if you will. Yeah.
Um, I can't even think of what it is right off the top of my head, but it's 3 products.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
then in
what?
February, I'll be raffling off another 2,000 milligram tincture.
That's
So
worth
every
it.
month
That's
it'll
worth
be
tuning in
something
right there.
different. Yep.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think would sell? Like, is it just CBD that you deal with, or are there other cannabinoids that you mix into things?
Actually, I only deal with CBD.
Okay. Okay. Because I know some people work with CBN and CBGs coming up and things of that nature. There's people that are actually selling complexes. Those are
Mhm.
pretty neat. It's just like B vitamins, but with cannabinoids, I thought, and I wasn't sure, and that's why I asked.
Yeah, I'm looking
How,
into it
yeah,
because I want to
yeah.
expand, of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
as
it
the need
only makes sense.
arises.
It only makes sense. But my question is this, like, what's your average like genre or age group, really, I should say, of people that are let's say your biggest selling customers? Like, what's the age group there?
It varies.
Okay. Okay. See, I've heard a little bit different. I've heard like five different, like I've heard that it's from one company, and I guess it's who your niche is, but one company, the elderly, like a lot of older people, retirees, excuse me.
Now,
And
let me tell you, I sell this product called a pain push-up balm. It looks like a deodorant uh,
okay, like a
container.
stick, right?
Yes, it looks like a deodorant stick. My elderly people love it.
I don't
And
doubt
I
it.
sell a pain salve. The elderly people love it. People, professional people, they're into the vegan gummies and they're into the tinctures. And
Okay.
then my clientele who are giving it to their children, they love my vegan gummies. So it just varies. Yeah, I
I
have a
hate this thing, I tell you.
large audience or large consumers age
So
range.
for my elderly folk that are listening, I have an idea that I'm sure that like maybe back in the day they were like, "Oh my God, yes." Can somebody just help a brother out here and like infuse some Ovaltine?
Ah,
You know what I mean? Because how many
oh,
times they watch that commercial, the Ovaltine commercial, and be like, "Can we put weed in that? Like, can somebody
but
do
you're
that?"
the chef, so I'll leave that to you.
Oh, it's easy. You just find you a good isolate, throw it in there, call it a day.
There you go. Yeah. I'm
I
not
say that not
into
liking distillate, but it is what it is. But I think that CBD doesn't really have. If I had to attach like a warning label on CBD or like an age group to it, I would probably say we'll go Betty White with it and just say ages 4 to 99. Like it
I
covers
agree.
everybody. You know what I mean? But
I agree.
if you're
Because
100, we can't help you.
I got a lot of professionals who like the idea of smoking.
Right.
So they do the pre-rolls.
Oh yeah.
And then I have a large clientele who love the bath bombs. So it varies. So
You
you're
know,
right, from 4 to 99.
if I
Perfect.
wasn't such a surly man, I probably would be into bath bombs. But
Love them.
there was this time that I did a CBD, you know, I was working a shift and I did a CBD bath bomb. And this was back when like people were making them handmade. You couldn't find them in dispensaries. People were just making them. And I was like,
Hmm.
all right, cool. You know, I'll try this. I had glitter everywhere for days. They put
Why
glitter in it.
glitter?
I was not happy about that. There was
Why
I
glitter?
don't it wasn't like it wasn't like glitter. It was like the glitter was in the powder that they used. It was like a dust or something,
Oh.
and it was pink. I should have known, but listen, I don't discriminate. You know, like I don't care if it's pink.
Right.
Does it work? It works. You know, cool. And so like I'm doing it. Yeah, my water's pink. You know, it's a little weird that taking a bath. Like I'm a shower person, but all right, cool. We're
Right.
gonna. You know, I felt great until glitter. Like
Well,
everything was
you have
great
to try
until
mine. And then I have the
perfect.
soy CBD massage candles.
Massage
Wonderful.
candles.
Yes, CBD soy massage candles.
I haven't
Wonderful.
heard of that. They like what do they smell like? What do you got?
I have eucalyptus and lavender and eucalyptus and spearmint.
Those sound great.
They
Seriously, those
are.
sound great. Like I'm not even like
They
a
are.
huge candle person. My old lady is, I'll tell you.
Oh my
And now
God.
she's gonna hear this and be like, guess what we just bought? All right, all
Melt
right.
down that wax and do a nice
uh,
aphrodisiac massage.
uh.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
there goes my Friday night.
Sounds
Gladly,
good.
I would give that woman the world. She knows it. She knows it. But she
Yeah, how's she
actually,
doing?
oh, she's doing great. She's doing great. Her, you know, for her birthday, I bought her a massage and sent her to a friend of mine's a massage parlor there in Plymouth. It was a holistic massage of Plymouth. She went to see
Wonderful.
Marissa. You should definitely stop by and talk to Marissa because they're
Hmm,
looking for stuff just like that. Real talk. Like
cool.
they're definitely reach out and tell her that I sent you. She'll hook
Okay.
you up for sure. But um, the only thing that my old lady said, she's like, listen, because my old lady's as tall as me. She, you know, we're big
I saw
people.
her. I met her.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm saying for the people that don't, that, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
don't know her. Yeah. So Marissa's not. Marissa's like 5'1", 5'2", and so when she walks in and she's like, "Are you sure?" Like, okay, but she goes, "That woman has strong
Yeah.
hands." She had her hurt, and there's a couple of bruises, you know, not much, but a little bit. She had like this like massage, like she hooked her up, and
Oh, good.
she was
The
like,
only thing was
"Listen."
missing was my body oil. She could
That's
have
what I
used it
was
for her
thinking.
massage.
That's
Yep.
what I was thinking. She was
Yep.
actually asking me if I knew anybody, and that's why I'm saying you should go talk to her. Go talk
I
to her.
got her.
But I'll tell you, she'll put you on the floor from what I hear.
Cool. I'll try her out.
Get it, get it. But yeah, no, that's you know, I need someone to get into my shoulders, and we're gonna see. I did have this. It wasn't a stick. It was like a cream that I had gotten from some people. I think it was. I think it was Rob Robar over at the Helping Front Hemp
Okay.
Company or something along the lines. I forget his title. Sorry, Rob, but I know I had it and I absolutely loved it.
Hmm.
I love the topical, you know, lines and stuff as long as they don't put it's like a fake wax that my body breaks out to. It's like a
Oh.
fake beeswax. If they use kind of decently natural ingredients and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and it's not anything that's like I wouldn't, you know, weird, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I've put some. There was a company. It wasn't from Michigan, but I tried it online and I put it on my skin and it made me break out, and I was just
Oh,
not
that's
feeling
terrible.
it. Yeah, I mean, but I tried it again. We're good. You know, I just used another CBD cream to get that one to work. You know, so you know, there we go. I I do wonder though, like, how long ago was it that you actually kind of stepped into the CBD game? You were like, hey, listen, okay, they were asking for these products. What should I drop first?
So I started the CBD journey, I want to say in November of 2020.
Okay.
And I started taking the class as a cannabis nurse consultant. And once the word got out, like in December of 2020, everybody started calling me, asking me for cannabis cards.
Okay.
And then when they found out I couldn't get them a card, they was like, well, what about products? So
Right.
I officially launched 2C Canna Health and Wellness in April
Okay.
2021.
So
So
you,
I've
it's
been in
you
almost a
know
year.
less than a year.
Yep, less than a year. and it's going really, really well. It is.
That's what I like hearing. Listen, your 2022 is already off to the races, I'll tell you. You got your PhD right there. Your business is doing well. I mean, listen, what were you saying earlier? Manifest it, speak it into
Yes.
existence. And I'm huge on
Yes.
energy. Like, that's the thing. And it's interesting because I'm also an anarchist, so there's that. You know what I mean? I'm a very complex individual. Like, I don't think that we should have like total domination and absolutely no government, but I don't think that we should have two sides. You know what I mean? I think that there's ways we need to break it down further, but people don't agree, so I just don't have the conversation.
Mhm.
But I do look at energy. Now, I forget who said it, but energy cannot be destroyed, only manipulated and redistributed. And I believe that was Einstein. Now, I'm probably wrong there, but I believe it was Einstein. Um, I really feel that because it makes the most sense. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I can walk into a room, call me, an empath all you want. That's absolutely fine.
Yes.
I'm that much closer to like X-Men, superhero abilities, so that works for me. But
Hmm.
it's confirmed. Psylocke, here I come. But I walk into a room and you can feel like you're like, are you guys just talking about me? Or like you can feel that energy, and it's just like it's awkward because I didn't really notice that until after my mom died. My mom was she could I tell you she was very like stern. Like she could definitely tell you what she thought within the first 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Oh
And
wow.
she 9 times out of 10 wasn't wrong. You
That's
know,
a gift.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But
Hmm.
sometimes it's a curse, a blessing and a curse at the same time. You
Can
know what
be.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's definitely saved my ass in some back end deals. Like I thought that they were legit and above board, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna speak my mind. Something just told me like, hey, just say this and see what happens. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that I did because if that small little thing caused everything to topple, how sturdy was it to begin with? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it saved me from being played. So I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna go with it. And you just got to put that good energy out there, man. That's really what it is.
Definitely.
If you want to see good in the world, be good in the world. You want to see change, be the change. It's that's just what you got to do. And honestly, I love seeing people kind of venture down these cannabis like entrepreneurships. I love seeing it. I just love seeing it, man. Real talk. Like I'm not even gonna, specify one facet of it. Like if you're just out there making brownies for an edibles company and and you're doing good, you're doing good. You
Well, the
know,
doors have been open for us, right?
that's true. That's true. I
The
mean, we
doors
got
are
activists
open
out
now.
there. We got activists out there fighting every day. We got
Oh
activists.
yes.
The OG's been fighting since the '60s.
Hmm.
Um, all of them crotchety, but it's all right. They pissed. They got a right to be. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them don't think that cannabis should be taxed. Period. Whereas our generation is like, fine, tax it, fine, but at the same time, let me have it. You know what I mean? Like we get it, but I
I'm
think
with the
that
OGs. It shouldn't be
yeah.
taxed.
Oh,
But
it
as soon
shouldn't
as the
be, but
government gets involved, we already know what's going to happen. It's
and
happening in Vegas. It's happening in Colorado.
you sound like an anarchist there. That's an anarchist thing to think. Yeah, all right, all right.
Well,
Well, listen.
well.
Okay, okay.
And let's back up. I'm an empath as well.
Oh yeah,
I
all
can
right.
feel people's energy from a mile away, especially when you talk about the gift and the curse. The curse for me is feeling the negative energy. I
Yeah.
can feel it from, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
that's the curse. And I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
get away, get away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I then that's the thing. It's just like go. You're just like nah, not today. Do you? So that being said, like I think that there's a huge facet of healing that doesn't get talked about enough, and that's Reiki. You know,
Mhm.
that shit's legit. Seriously, like a little known fact, and I'll share this to everybody about myself just real quick. When YouTube was a thing on your phone, when it became an app and you can like turn it on and stuff. I remember that. I remember I had the iPhone 3 or whatever it was back then.
Mhm.
I didn't pay for it. They got a hold of me, whatever. But I was using YouTube to listen to go to sleep at night because I didn't own a TV. I
Mhm.
lived in a studio apartment by myself. I was a chef. Like that's what I did. That's my only form of entertainment. I had an Xbox, but I didn't have a TV. I know that's how my life was. TVs are easier to sell than something that
Yeah.
Anyways, so I used to watch a lot of ASMR videos, you know, and stuff when they first came out. Now, ASMR stands for, those that don't know, is Autonomous Serotonin Meridian Response.
Hmm.
It's also known as tingles. So tingles is like the, you know, less scientific and you know, kind of sounds a little soft, if you will, but it's the same thing. It's this feeling that when you're calm, like when someone's playing with your hair, there's triggers, there's specific
Mm-hmm.
triggers, and they trigger
Hmm.
a dopamine effect. Okay,
Yes.
that dopamine helps you relax and knocks you out. You know what I mean? If you
Hmm.
get enough of it.
Definitely.
Now, so back then, I would use it to, like, you know, I knew if I had to get up in the morning, I would use it to sleep. And that turned into learning what Reiki really was. And
Okay.
so then there were people that would do distance healings, like video chats like this, and people would claim that it works. Who am I to tell them
Hmm.
that it doesn't?
Hmm. I never
If
heard
I,
of it. I've heard of Reiki,
yeah,
but I haven't heard of it to that
you know,
extent.
you can Google ASMR anywhere and it'll pop up. There's people with ASMR videos that I've seen as of late, still a fan, that I think they put out a video last year, and the one girl that I saw had 29 million views.
Whew.
Yeah, that's on YouTube. That's not counting anything else. Like
I
there's, you know,
know.
TikTok pops off and stuff like that,
That's
and,
just
and that's
one
great.
platform.
That's just one.
Yeah.
Like, give me 10 views and I'm happy. That's big numbers there, you know. But I see these things and I get it. You know, some of them, you know, with the role plays and stuff, will over sexualize, and obviously, you know, there's a market for that, and it is what it is, and that's absolutely fine. That's
Mhm.
not really my niche. My niche is the, like, the interesting ones. Like there's a gentleman on there that does, you know, he's a Reiki healer from like England and Wales. Like that's the cool shit that I'm into, with like
Okay.
diamond therapy. There was actually a Reiki empathic healer that just recently passed away that was at MSU, and she filmed this video. It's got like
Hmm.
18 million views. You know what I'm saying? So like her family's still cashing in that YouTube check, but all, and she doesn't even touch the guy. She just met him and she was like able to like heal him, you know,
Yeah.
from across the room,
Yeah.
and then went through and goes, "You have a problem with this, and this, and this." And he's
Oh
like,
wow.
"Holy shit."
Wow.
And I was just like, dude, there's something to this. There's too
Yeah,
much,
it is.
just that video, you know,
It
and
is.
especially like,
But
especially
while
when you
we're
smoke
talking
weed.
about that, let me backtrack a little
Yeah.
bit. That's why Big Pharma
Mm-hmm.
is trying to put their hands into everything,
Mm-hmm.
because there is healing in the plant.
Oh yeah.
Reiki, complementary alternative ways of medicine,
Mm-hmm.
complementary alternative medicine. There is healing in
Listen,
all of that, right?
I'm not saying cannabis cures cancer, but I'm not saying that it causes it. That's what I'm gonna say. At the same time, cannabis cures cancer.
Yeah, we have research that shows it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
More, and if you're suffering from COVID, and I will say this right now, and this is kind of a plug to your CBD and stuff. If you have COVID right now, or you're just getting over COVID, dude, drive as much CBD. I was taking 2,500 milligrams a day,
Wow.
but I'm a big dude, and I'm also you know, I do dabs all day long, so it's
Okay.
like my THC tolerance is, I'm not saying like, you know, Snoop
Yeah.
Dogg level, but
Yeah.
give me a decent Wiz Khalifa, you know what I mean? But
I got it.
I dab all day. A gram ain't gonna last, and it's not shit. But
But
it
I
took
have a
that much CBD.
client who
Mhm.
lost her hair to COVID.
Oh
She used
no.
my hair oil and all of her edges had came out. She uses
Ooh.
my hair oil and all of her hair is back. So
You know
we
what? From
know
now on, start with
CBD
that
works.
story.
We know CBD
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something to it. You know, obviously we're looking into it every day. You
Hmm.
know, we're studying more and more cannabinoids. There's about 200 cannabinoids that we know about right now,
Yes.
117 to 200.
Yep.
That people need to understand that it is a spectrum. You know, there's spectrums to everything. You know, there's
Yep.
a spectrum to autism. There's a spectrum to ADD. There's a spectrum to There's spectrums. Um, Gender spectrums. You know,
Hmm.
there's just
It is.
spectrums.
It is.
Yeah. So I look at it like, okay, if there's over 200 cannabinoids, there's over 200 new ingredients for chefs and cooks and people to use.
Yes.
And then infinite of possibilities, you know, once you pass, you know, 10 or 15. But the point is, I want to say something, and I want to kind of get your idea on it.
Hmm.
When a person comes to me, because I've had the same people, like, you know, call me up like, hey, my next door neighbor, let me give you an example. She's an amazing woman, 65 years old, won't say her name. She'll slap me
Right.
for telling it, but I secretly let's spill the beans here, but I secretly go and shovel her driveway. May or may not have gotten that done already, but the point is we take care of her, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She came over to my house, frantic. She's like, listen, she goes, I talked to the other neighbor. I'm like, oh no, like, what do you want? And she's like, I was told that you were the person that I could get some. I was like, I mean, yeah. Like, it was just like, yeah. Like, but for her, I didn't just go, here's a joint. No.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, here's this lotion that I make for myself. Okay. I'm not selling you anything. I make this for myself. Okay. I get, I make my own, tinctures and things of that. That's part of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I was like, here, take this lotion. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, either way, man, try it. That's all I said. The next day, pounding on my door. You got any more of that? And I was like, did you use all of it? She's like, no, but my sister wants some. I was like, then share. She's like, no. I was like, okay. So I gave her another one. No big deal. She's now talked to her doctor, and her doctor, and maybe this is the part really I kind of want to clear up. Doctors know about it. They know about the science, but by law, whatever it is, they can't comment on it. Like, do you have any, like, what's... Why?
There's stigma around cannabis, right?
Oh, there's a huge one.
In the medical community.
Okay.
I have seen where the stigma, they will label a patient a chronic cannabis user because they smoke marijuana or drug user. And then I have to go and advocate that, no, that's their medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it down as medicinal.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big stigma around cannabis use.
Oh, yeah.
Physicians know about it,
mm-hmm.
but that's part of me being a cannabis nurse consultant, right? It's to educate.
I think you're about to be very busy.
That's part of the education. And then I am the vice president of education and research for the Midwest Canada Nurses. And we are an organization that does nothing but education.
Isn't there? Do you guys have something coming up?
No.
I seen something about something about cannabis nurses, and it was in Michigan, so it could be something completely different or something. I seen it, like, it came across my desk.
The Midwest Canada Nurses, but we are an organization that does a lot of cannabis educations for the dispensaries. I don't want to talk about some of the things that we have coming up, but we have some great things coming up.
Perfect.
But, be on the lookout, y'all. Educating the public.
Right.
On the medicinal benefits of cannabis.
Now, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there wasn't a stigma created in the first place, there wouldn't be a need for this. Real talk. Like, I'm not trying to, like, at the same time, there wouldn't be a need for me. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Right. But again, I guess kind of thank you a little bit, silver lining. But to tell you the truth, like, I really wish that there would have never been, a smear campaign or anything of that nature, because there's so much we could have learned and done. You understand? So many lives could have been saved already. We've already saved so many lives, and it's just, it's insane, man. Now, I do want to ask, though, while I got you here, like, where do you see cannabis going in the next, let's say 5 years medically?
Medically, well, let me start at the federal level.
Okay.
So we are advocating for cannabis to be passed legally on the federal level. So I'm working with a couple of organizations. I told you I'm an advocate.
Right.
And we are advocating for it to be passed on the federal level. If we can get it passed on the federal level, oh my God, it's unlimited where we will be in 5 years, right? Because now that is the stigma. It's legal on the state level,
right? But
it's still illegal on the federal level. So
it is.
Federal level.
Which is really funny. So, and it's, I'm not being pedantic when I say this, like, it's just funny to poke at, but half of weed is legal. Like, CBD, you can mail anywhere. It's protected by the Farm Bill. It's non-psychoactive. You can mail it wherever you want. That's absolutely fine. But the other half, the psychoactive part, the fun part, the recreational part, that's illegal, and you can't do that. So it's just like, why not just finish it? You know what I'm saying? And just be fully legal. However, I do not agree with legalization, and here is why.
Okay.
I don't think that it should be. I don't think that it should be legalized federally. I think it should be decriminalized federally. I think so. What I mean by that is, once you federally legalize it, you're going to flood the market. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to flood the market. You're going to get, then they can tax it. You see what I'm saying? And then they
Oh,
can
that's
tax
going to
the
happen.
shit out of it.
That's
Okay.
going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
However, they would have a harder time doing all of that if they just decriminalized it. Now, if people decriminalized it, and we're seeing a lot of this already, but more so if they were to decriminalize it, we would see them, you'd be able to get bank loans to start bigger and better CBD joints and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I see that, I think that it should have definitely been decriminalized. And to be honest, the person that convinced me to do it, Rick, you're out there,
Mm-hmm.
man. You're the man. Like, he was like, you're right, but let me tell you this. And he convinced me, and so I do honestly agree with him. I don't think that it should be legalized just yet. And trust me, I said that since I smoked weed when I was young. I was like, this just needs to be legal. And I
Yeah.
agree. However, at this point in time, the way that everything is going, I think it would be smart to, to do a rollout. So let's deschedule it, see how it runs, get the infrastructure built, and then legalize it.
Okay, but think about whose pocket is that going to hit?
I mean, either way, whose pockets are going to hit? That's,
Right. And if the
that's the
government
truth.
can't make money off of it, it's not going to happen.
I'll give you that.
So
But I will
if
say
they
this.
decriminalize it, think
Yeah.
of all of these people that are in jail
Mhm.
for all of these nonviolent crimes
Mhm.
for marijuana
Mhm.
that they're going to have to let
Okay.
go. They're going to
Yep.
lose all this money. Come
Yep.
on.
I get it.
But we have to start somewhere. I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't care where we start, but let's start somewhere.
I agree with that. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's there are too many people in jail for something that, I've got more, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not okay. Okay. And
Yep.
it's, if you agree, like, if you're a judge and like, you're like, no, I agree, then, put your money where your mouth is, man.
Yeah.
Let my people go. Like,
I
why?
know.
And so
I
it's
know.
like, that's why I really like what, name drop him, Ryan Baser, Redemption Cannabis. That's what he's working
Yes.
with. I love
Yes.
what he does.
Yes.
That's the reason why he
Yes.
gets it. Homie lived it. He didn't live
I
30 years
know.
of it, but
I know.
he got slammed. But at the same time, like, oh, that'd be scary as shit. Think about it. You're completely legal, above board. Everything is completely fine. You pay your taxes. They know about you. And all of a sudden you got DEA helicopters over your shit. Like, they're hunting you. Like, come on. That's some CSI bullshit right there. But still, the point is, like, I get it, and honestly, to tell you the truth, am I going to be mad if they legalize it first? Nah.
No.
No, I won't. But I do expect, okay, here's why. I expect a complete, like, opening of the dam, breaking of the dam, if you will, and because you got Amazon already trying to look for patents and to deliver licenses and shit like that. They cannot do that unless it's federally legal. You got, Canada opening up their borders, already wanting to trade cannabis, with the United States.
Yep.
That's non-CBD. You could do CBD, but THC.
Right.
And then you got all these other countries going legal. You got all these states like Montana going legal. Dude, there's money they're already putting into it. They're already got money into it. All right, fine. They're probably going to push for it to be legal, and then it's just going to be a absolute shit show. I'll be honest with you.
It is. But if that's the way we can get our people out that are incarcerated out, let's do it. Right?
Now, at the same time, and it goes back to we're trusting the people that created the crisis for us to to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that we go all the way to that point. Let's say, like, all right, cool, let them out. Crickets. They're like, we can't. Well,
right.
So I thought you said you were going to. That's he pulled a gun. No, that's my point. So
I agree.
We could get to that point, and they still gonna pull some bullshit. It happens.
Agree.
It's happening now. It's happening as we speak. So it's what kind of that's why it's important to be an activist. Really, real talk. Seriously, like, stand up for shit that that you believe in, or you're fall for anything. Really,
Definitely.
That's why I'm down at the Capitol when I can be, when I'm not sick, telling people, these state representatives, like, no, that's not how that is. I'm high as shit right now. We're having this conversation. Like, you don't get it. It's medical. They're like, oh, you're high. Calm down. You know what I mean? Like, smoke a joint. But most of them do. But, that's the thing. Like, I love finding out of the closet cannabis users. They're so fun. They're just like, don't tell anybody I smoke. Okay, but do this dab first. Well, go ahead. And then they're picking their lung up off the floor and be like, I ain't tell nobody. Snapchat, however, I ain't say shit. You coughing though, but It's fun, man, and it's all in good fun. I've never heard of cannabis killing everybody. As a matter of fact, I believe that the actual scientific statistic behind that is the number of people killed by cannabis is the same number of people impaled by a unicorn. Yeah,
Zero.
exactly. That's my point. Although I
Zero.
want unicorns to be real, but I don't
No
think they would
one.
stab anybody.
No one.
None whatsoever.
None.
It's actually saved lives, but at
Yes.
the same time, and I just learned this tonight, and I recant any further, statement that I said about this in the past because I remember yelling at one of my friends and she knows who she is. I didn't yell at her. We had a tiff. I was like, no, you cannot be allergic to it. I'm sorry. I do apologize. I will cook you dinner, but at the same time, I found out tonight you can in fact be allergic to cannabis.
Hmm.
I did not think that that was actually possible. So it's
So,
not common. It's not common at all. But this gentleman was, and I talked to him. He was an avid smoker, daily smoker, daily user, all kinds of crazy stuff. And then just out of nowhere, the allergy happened. He noticed that he smoked some, and he started getting hives.
but it's not far-fetched
It's not.
because think about how people are allergic to different
Hmm.
plants. Cannabis
Yeah,
is a
grass.
plant.
Yep.
So it's not
There's
far-fetched.
people that are allergic to water.
Yeah. So,
So I get it. I get it, but he's like, dude, you have no idea how bad my life sucks. I'm like, I
wow.
mean, dude, I get it. I was like, so just like, I don't know, snort a Benadryl or something. Like, don't do that, anyone. I was just kidding when I said that, but he was like, he even asked me, he goes, wait, does that work? I was like, no, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. Please don't do that. Why are you doing this? But anyway.
No.
No, but he is on a medication to kind of help with it and stuff like that
Yeah.
because he works for a dispensary.
Oh my
Well, he can't
God.
partake anymore. So it was actually so bad because they grow on site and stuff. It was actually so
Mhm.
bad they had to put in like a $2,000 air
Yeah.
purification unit.
Yeah, they do.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
oh my God, like I feel so bad for him, and I'm just like, I wish you could smoke this though, like more for me, I guess, but. I do feel bad. So yes, I do apologize. You can be allergic to cannabis. I do apparently know more than one person, but that's bound to happen the more people that, that we find out, and
Of course.
listen, I say this once and I'll say it again. I've seen cannabis save lives, whereas I've seen alcohol destroy it. I've seen other
Oh
drugs
yeah.
destroy lives. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I think that there's more demand for the things that you do and the products that you offer than I think that you even realize,
Hmm.
and I can't commend you enough for, being that beacon of light for people that are in pain, and we
Yeah.
know too many people of them, and too many people that are in pain, too many of them we know. And
Hmm.
I just want them to just to live a normal life. These people aren't asking for TikTok followers or
Right.
millions of dollars or Lamborghini. They just want to be able to get up in the morning and make breakfast.
That's
They just
right.
want to, be able to get up in the morning and maybe take their dog for a walk,
Yep.
and go out in the sun without they want to be able to live a whatever we deem as normal life, and
Whatever's normal for them.
exactly.
Yes.
And who are we to take that, deprive them of that?
I agree. And that's
I
why I
think
do what I do.
that's exactly my point,
And I do
and
offer free 15-minute consultations
oh,
where
take
I
that
go
on,
over
get it.
medications, I'll go over your goals and try to figure out a way to help you. So
Right. Because
definitely.
here's the thing, like we've all got that bad edible story, and you'd be surprised how off-putting that is, and how many
Hmm.
people don't use cannabis as a healing medicine as they should because of that one bad edible story.
Yep.
Somebody gave me an edible one time that was very mislabeled, and yeah, it
Mm.
sucked, but I'm not going to stop. You know what I mean? Like, I know that
Wow.
it's not going to kill me. I mean, it wasn't fun, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I helped them figure out how to dose it right. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, it's,
See,
dosing is
that's the
important.
problem with edibles. You can't dose it, right? Tinctures you can, right? But
Well,
edibles, you
so
can't really dose it.
yes and no. So it depends on how you're infusing. So, for example, if you do homogenation correctly, you'll get an even disbursement of cannabinoids and cannabis throughout your actual product.
Hmm.
And as long as you know the potency of the percentage of THC or whatever other cannabinoids, and you do your math correctly, just remember, for every 1 gram, 1,000 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
That's your basic measurement, and then go from there. Do your math correctly by how many ever numbers of edibles you have, or cookies, or whatever you have, dishes, plates, and stuff, and just know how you're consuming. I think, if anybody's watching this and they're trying to figure out, okay, I can't smoke anymore, or okay, I want to consider CBD, or okay, I want to consider, adding weed or whatever, this is the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do. And I have a nurse here who's getting her PhD. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, that's just, I love that. I'm sorry. Fangirl over that before any kind of celebrity. Seriously, I love meeting people that push themselves. I love that. I'm sure you can agree when I say, know what you're healing first.
Yes.
Don't just be like, we'll see. You need to know specifically what problems you have. So if you go into a doctor's office, and I'm sure you can attest to this, you're like, I've got these things wrong with me. He's gonna be like, well, where do you want to start? Or she's going to be like, where do you want to start? Which one do you want to start with? You can't just go. I mean, there are realms of cannabis we can do. We can just jump straight into RSO and all that shit will be erased in a week, but you're going to be higher than shit.
I know.
You won't remember any of that.
The 15-minute consultation
exactly.
to see where they want to be.
Right.
What their end goal is. And then we start from there. I never start with edibles.
No.
And when I say you can't dose it, that's what I mean by that.
Right.
I don't start with
That's
edibles.
true. That's true.
So,
I feel you.
And if I do, we'll start off with a half. We don't start off with a whole. And then we'll talk and see how that's working.
So I want you to repeat what you just said real quick. Start off with a half.
With a half.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll talk and see how that works for a couple of days.
So,
and then depending on how it works, but trust me, you've tried the tincture first.
Yeah.
You've tried other things, other modalities before we've gone to gummies or any type of edibles. I really don't deal with anything besides gummies. That's what I have.
Right. Okay.
But anything else, I mean, they can go to dispensaries and buy those, but yeah, I don't really deal with anything else other than that.
You don't need to. Gummies are like perfect. 15, 20 minutes later, done.
Yeah. It's usually like 30. About 30 minutes because it has to dissolve in the gut, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I use a lot of sunflower lecithin in mine, so that's like faster acting a little bit, not by like 20, but it's you'll notice, and that's the only reason I do it. So for your metabolism, as long as you've used that, so like when I'm making the oil or tincture or something like that, I'll put the sunflower in there. That allows for a broader absorption of cannabinoids with your metabolism for each pass, so that works out great. Little bit of science, if you will. You know this. I'm just preaching to the choir. Mansplaining it, if you will. Sorry, but people need to know. People need to know.
You need something.
Yeah. Thank you. But then that's the thing. Like, I'll make something and I'll be like, listen, this is 100 milligrams THC. Okay, eat half of it. See where that puts you, and then then go. They never listen. Never once have they listened. Never.
Let me tell you why. Because what happens is they'll eat half. And then they'll sit there for like 15, 20 minutes. Nothing's happened. Well, let me eat the rest.
That's exactly what they do.
And then it hits them. And then they're like, shit. Done.
I made some cookies.
The type of conversations that I have with, the people I'm talking with.
I made some cookies, and he asked me, he goes, listen, I haven't smoked in 6 months. I moved away. I moved back. He's working in Alabama for a while. He goes, hey, give me something that's going to take care of the pain in my knees. He's a fellow chef friend here in Lansing.
Okay.
And, he partakes, he'll smoke and shit. And he can do his own edibles. He don't know nothing about dosing really, and that's what I do. So I'm just call you, and so hooked him up with, a dozen chocolate chip cookies. And the funny part is I was like, listen, half of them are infused. The other half aren't. You get to figure out which ones. And he goes, seriously? I was like, no, they're all infused. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. I was like, but half of them do have laxatives. Yes. And he was like, seriously? I was like, no. I told him, start with half a cookie. These are 100 milligrams a piece. Start with a half a cookie. See where that puts you. Cause he's got he'll be all right. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. And I'm like, listen, let me know what happens. He smashed a cookie, and then he smashed like a whole cookie, and then he called me back with he's like, I just ate another half of that cookie. I'm dying. I'm like, no, but you called me. He's like, right, but they got payphones in hell. I'm like, no, they don't. Like, I was like, but hang on though, FaceTime me real quick. I spent like another 45 minutes just watching this guy just.
He was
Oh,
blasted.
he felt good. So
Ooh,
he's like, but you know what though, man? He's like, seriously, there's no pain in my knee. I'm like,
right,
I'll take that. I'll take that.
right.
He wasn't
That's the
going nowhere.
goal.
He wasn't hurting nobody. You know, he was
Yeah,
couch locked. He was posted up, man. We were just
that's
sitting
a
there
fact.
having, chit chat. And he's like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I just stuck weed and cookies, dude. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that it's really not that hard. He's like, right, but these hit different. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, is it worse different? He's like, no. He's like, it's not terrible. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm baked. Yeah, it's fun, but it's not scary. I'm not like tripping. The floor is not lava. I'm like, listen, the floor is
wonderful.
lava. Get off that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but mess with him because we go back, but like, that's the truth though.
And the
If
best
you
part
do it,
is he didn't die.
oh no, he didn't die. He called me back the next day. He's like, so those cookies though.
Right. Not with
uh,
cannabis.
He's like,
So,
you got something there. I was like, they're just cookies, and that's
hmm
the thing. I don't like using distillate, and that's part of it as well. I'm
yeah.
nothing against distillate. Like
Mhm.
I smoke certain specific vapes. They're pretty good, and but putting it in food, it's like sticking a 9-volt battery to my tongue. It just doesn't.
Oh, wow.
I have a refined palate, so when I lost my taste with COVID, I lost my mind. I'm like, that's it. That's it. Put a gun
Oh,
to my head. Can't taste anything. No, we're done.
terrible.
I don't know, and it's funny because the doctor said, "Yo, you're a chef. You have a refined palate. You have a trained palate. You've trained that." And he's
Hmm
like, that would be one of the first things to lose, and one of the first
Oh,
things to come back. And it's the exact same thing that happened. And so
wow.
I'm so very happy that it came back. Um, I
Good.
tested it. There's certain ways to test it. I did
Yeah.
that for sure. Coffee is what I use for my smell. That's one of the things. But if you lose your taste or your smell, get a COVID test, wear a mask, wash your hands, isolate. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? That shit is real. Okay, I'm telling you right now. I've
Yes.
had COVID. COVID is real. I'm not telling you anything about a vax situation. We ain't talking about no needles
Right.
or anything.
Right.
I will ask you though, even if you are vaxxed, like if I don't know you like that, maybe wear a mask. That's all I'm saying. You know
Of
what I mean?
course. But let me tell you
Because
about two
sure.
nurses that I know. They
Okay.
use CBD. They're COVID nurses.
Okay.
They use CBD in their coffee in the
Mm,
morning.
I feel
They
that.
took gummies
Hmm.
and they put tincture under their tongue. Neither one of them got COVID. I'm
So
just saying.
no, you're not wrong. And I'm gonna
Just
add more
saying.
to that if you don't mind. Okay. So for the longest time, like COVID hit, I'm an avid cannabis user, things of that nature. Okay. I wouldn't say avid. I'd say fucking chronic, like chronic.
It's
I'm the host of
okay.
the Daily Chronicles. There's a reason. Okay, so,
Mhm.
um, I didn't get the first round and stuff like that. I think, and this is right before that new Omicron wave happened, and that shit's just super infectious. But it's more like the flu. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's the symptoms are over in a couple of days. That's why they're saying 5 days with that. You know what I mean? Because it's not that bad, but it still is COVID. I don't know what type of COVID. I didn't really care. I was like, I have
Mhm.
COVID. We're just gonna have COVID. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Listen, I do have asthma. I won't, everybody that knows me knows this. So if I take a super massive dab and I have to take an inhaler and sit down for a minute, I'm going to be good real quick. But, I gotta breathe, and
Yeah.
so I had COVID and yeah, maybe feel like maybe for the first few days I was knocking on death's door for sure, but I never, and yeah, I was a few times scared and stuff, but I never really felt that I needed to go to the hospital, which
Good.
is good, which is good.
Yes.
That's because I was using the CBD tinctures. That's because I
Mhm.
was, I was trying to get it in me. Like I couldn't eat anything besides like just broth. I could probably get a tincture in, that's not an issue, but anything that went in solid didn't come back up, but it didn't go out the way it came in, if that makes any sense. It
Right.
was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So there are some new symptoms that we learned about, but I will say this: it helps with the fatigue. Cannabis and coffee is a great way to start your morning. There's just something
Mhm.
about that. I personally sprinkle keef in my coffee. That's just
Oh,
me though.
really?
Yeah, because if you take the keef, it decarboxylates in the coffee, but
Yeah.
not enough to burn it off, and then you drink it quick enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, do that and smoke a joint, and that's my morning. You know what I
All
mean?
right.
So I love that. But that's me. That's me.
Yeah. Whatever works.
I think that catching COVID so late in the year and still doing the events that I did and things of that nature, I think that cannabis saved it, created a barrier that maybe I let slip or something, who knows, or just Omicron, who
Yeah.
knows.
Who
But
knows?
I can tell you that cannabis, I feel like it saved my life again. I had long COVID symptoms. It was just last week I was telling you that I just got over like coughing
Yeah.
and congestion. I couldn't do a dab to save my life, and I
Mhm.
love dabs. Anybody, I used to, just straight smoke joints, but I love dabs. That's my
Mhm.
shit.
Mhm.
So that's right there, because there's more flavor and terp profile, and you get it,
Yeah.
and it's not terrible for you because you're not burning. There's no combustion that
Right.
happens. So, healthy conscious. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it into my lungs, and it just felt like I was coughing shit up, and there was like just something in that I was just coughing up. I had my girlfriend listen to my lungs, but there was nothing in them. She's
Mhm.
like, You're fine."
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, this sucks. And it crossed my mind, hey, maybe go get one of these infusions people are talking about, monoclonal infusions. And I was like,
Mhm.
well, that would make sense, but then I felt really bad, and here's why. There's a huge list of people that, okay, if you have asthma, yes, you could go get one, I guess, whatever. But there's diabetes on there, there's cancers, there's all kinds of shit in there. Now, at the same time, you think hospitals are busy now? They're running out of this shit. They're running out of this. I'm not saying but they were. They're asking people, if you don't have any of these conditions, please don't consider the infusion. Which are
Right.
they going to play the system? Yeah, but people think that rules don't apply to them. But fuck those people. What I'm trying to say is this. I thought about going to get one. I really did. But I was like, I would rather somebody else that has one of those more severe symptoms go and do it.
Mhm.
And I never regretted that decision at all. And I just kind of powered through it. And breathing techniques help. Okay. Cannabis helps.
Mhm.
Last but not least, dabs.
Okay.
Dabs do in fact help. And it's with the coughing, because when you dab, have you ever tried to do a controlled cough when you don't have to cough?
No.
It don't work, because you're like it's like a burp that you can't get up. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, when you dab, everything starts draining.
Okay.
Like everything, and it makes you want to cough. Like everybody coughs after a dab, whether it's like like that,
Yeah.
or to a more experience, like, I got to pick my lung up off the floor to to coin that phrase again. But everybody coughs. It shakes
Mhm.
the shit loose. And real talk, I just got back into my dabbing routine. I feel better.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a blast of THC. That's absolutely fine. Same plant. Maybe it's shaking everything up. I don't know what it is, but there's too much research out there, more to your point, that CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors are both attaching themselves inside the lungs, and COVID's having a hard time fighting through that resin. I would rather that shit happen than get COVID.
Now I'm gonna tell you, with my son, I did chest PT on him.
Oh, shit.
Break up whatever was in there. I went old school because
Mm-hmm.
my grandmother used to have us inhale Vicks. So
Mm-hmm.
I had him inhale Vicks,
Mm-hmm.
and he's doing a lot better. A lot better. So
My grandma, we didn't do Vicks. We didn't really, my grandma was very, very poor. All right.
mhm.
Very poor. And she didn't do Vicks, but she would do, she put, what was it? Cloves, bay
Mhm.
leaves, thyme, lemon, and just boil it on the stove of hot
Yep.
water, and put a towel over you
That's
like
what we
that.
had to do with Vicks and
Yep.
mentholatum, and that's how I did my
Yep.
kids.
Yep.
Any of them that come down with COVID, and I do chest PT, really
Mm-hmm.
extensive chest PT to break it up. And once they start coughing, and it just comes up.
It's funny because I love the fact that I can talk to you about this. I did that. I was sitting here, and again, asthmatic, sometimes, like, it gets
Mhm.
congested. My mom had COPD.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. Um, she smoked weed too, but not enough to it was, she just had it too long. It was,
Yeah.
by that time it's already done the damage for years. But, and I'll do that. I'll do the percussion test real quick. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, "What are you doing? Like, what is this kid doing?" And people don't understand that. I look weird as shit, but you know what? I can fucking breathe.
I
And
bet
that's
you you
the
can
point.
too.
Like, and it's knowing just the simplest of things
Yep.
can save your life. Seriously. Like,
Yep.
you could save somebody else's life.
Yep. Sure.
Percussion test is something that they should teach you, I think, in CPR.
Yeah.
Extensive CPR for like EMTs, they do that for certain situations and things of that nature. But I think that
Mm-hmm.
there should be a CPR class that, honestly, to tell you the truth, every American should certify in.
But
That's
I
that's
learned
what I
this
think.
because my son, my oldest son, he had asthma.
Hmm.
And that was back in the 80s. They taught us chest PT to clear out all those mucus,
Because they didn't have inhalers.
Right.
Yeah. You know what?
So,
I have to walk around with this.
oh my
You
God,
know
yeah,
what that looks like. That's
aerospace
not
breather.
fun. So you
Yeah.
know what's really funny? You know what I replace? Because okay, this is a rescue inhaler. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
can use this as much as you need to. It is what it is. This chamber is Respironics. It just you get the hit so it doesn't hit the back of your throat. It is what it
Exactly.
is. This will save. That can save your life, and it feels like it does. However, you know what I can replace this with? This. I
I
mean,
got
it's just a size thing. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe size matters, but not to me. You know what I mean?
Got
Like, not to me. But the point is, like, the cannabis in this, it doesn't do the exact same thing. And I understand that.
you.
But
Mm-hmm.
I feel the exact same way.
That's what
It's
matters.
to the point where even if I am confusing my body, fine. It's still cheaper, A, even
Yeah.
with insurance. B, which one do you want to carry around?
And see which ones has side effects.
Okay, so they both do. They both do. I will be honest. This one does make look. If you use too much of it, your blood pressure can lower. You can get dizzy. Yeah, and that does happen very rarely. This one you just get baked to make somebody else drive. You know what I mean? Like
My
there are
point.
side effects. Yeah,
My
exactly.
point.
That's
Right?
true. That's true. No, but I emphasize, listen, I do look at modern science as well as, holistic approaches. Do I think that certain specific diets exist? I think they exist just for the name. They're fad diets. I think foodies are kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Because anytime you ask a foodie, hey, why are you a foodie? They're like, I really enjoy food. I was like, well, everybody has to eat, so it just what? You know what I mean? Like that. Everybody. Show me a person that doesn't like food. You know what I mean? Come on, come on. Anyway, foodies are crazy people, but I think that like with the way that cannabis is going, it's going to be an immense need for what you do. There's going to be a lot more people kind of coming at you and being like, all right, cool. I heard from so and so that you got this cream or you got these gummies, that
Mm-hmm.
that really work. Can I try those? I think that your phone's going to start ringing a lot more than just every 15 minutes, real talk. But I
Wonderful.
I can't thank you enough, for kind of you're getting your PhD. You're a nurse, so you stepped out of the medical community and you're like, listen, that's their medicine. You don't
Yes.
understand that. Like you guys are sitting here prescribing, this to these people, and there are some of the side effects are death.
Yes.
If listen, one of my friends in high school, shortly after high school, was on pills. He was on oxy. I think it was oxys. I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but I think it was oxys. And he thought that he forgot to miss something like that, and like doubled up or something. But he passed away in his sleep
Yeah.
from an OD.
Yeah.
So
Accidental
no, at
overdose.
19
Yeah.
years, no. You know,
Yep.
homie smoked weed too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like that's just tragic. You know what I mean? How
Yeah.
are you sitting there and signing that, being okay with like the Hippocratic oath of do no harm when you're like, yo, these pills though, don't take two. Take one. If you take two, they will kill you. Take one. Why is it got to be that close to death?
That's another conversation.
Like it's why is that got to be that close? I don't know, man. I just feel like we lost a lot of good people that we didn't need to lose. I think that,
I
you
agree.
know, too many people are in pain out there that don't they just feel like they can't come forward. Come forward, please. There's people out there like myself, like Nurse Cheri here. Like we're out there, we're trying to help
Mm-hmm.
you. We know how to help you. This
Yes.
is that new. This is the new way to heal. It's no more like, hoping that the doctor has no. We have the holistic approach for you. And Cheri,
Definitely.
I can't thank you enough for,
Thank
kind of
you,
coming on and sitting
Rodney.
down.
It was
I
good
really
talking with
appreciate
you
it. Oh,
again. I'm glad
absolutely.
you're doing better.
I'm glad I'm feeling better. Like
Yeah.
it sucked, man. Like I had to say, no to a bunch of different stuff that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. 2022 is bringing in, one hell of a year. But dude, I absolutely love seeing, and hearing about the things that you're doing. I mean, it's you don't get enough credit, and
Thank
it's
you.
you know let's face it, like there's certain syndicates of like, social media. So like a few people outside of Detroit might hear about what's going on, but like most people in Detroit probably already know what's going. But I want everyone in the world to know what you're doing and why you're doing
Oh,
it.
thank you so
If
much.
somebody, oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you, for being the muse for that. If somebody can take that idea and kind of pull a little bit of inspiration, or if one person can be helped, from what you're doing, I think that what you're doing is an excellent thing. And I think that there's more of a need in it in the world coming soon than anyone could anticipate. And I
I
hope
agree.
that I hope that it goes smoothly. If not, we're gonna have to probably use our own medicine to kind of counteract that, if you will. But
Yeah.
it's come to that time where we need to end another episode of the Daily Chronicles. My tokers, jokers, and smokers. Again, I want to thank Miss Cheri here.
Thank
Go check
you.
her out. Again, that website one more time was www.2cc. That's Canna Health, capitals there, and wellness.live.live, however you want to enunciate it.
Correct.
But definitely go
I
check it
say
out.
not live.
.live.
Live.
Let's live it. Yeah, exactly. You're going live, live that shit. But she's got some giveaways going on, from last month, this month, and next month. Check it out. She's got a 2,000
Yes.
milligram tonic, or not tonic, excuse me, tincture
Yep.
that I'm going to go check out. And, definitely get that into me. But again, my tokers, jokers, and smokers, we'll see you guys next time on the Daily Chronicles, y'all. Peace.
Bye.